has 4 a.m. out. But we gotta get going, because today we're picking up our next project bike. Now, to make this project a possibility, we did have to sell one of the bikes. It wasn't going to be our big bore 2-stroke, the YZ490 that we just finished rebuilding. And it definitely wasn't going to be our vintage trail bike, the IT200. And I'm not ready to part with our KTM 250 quite yet, that we rebuilt from a box of parts. No, it's going to be the Husky CR125 that gets the boot from the garage and gets sold. We bought this bike with a locked up bottom end, and we rebuilt it on the channel. You can watch the video right here. I'm locking in over $700 worth of profit on this particular bike, and I'm pretty happy with that, considering that I didn't feel quite at home on the 125. It was a struggle to keep it on the pipe 100% of the time. I didn't really like the idea of having to stay on top of the clutch maintenance and top end as much as I would being over 200 pounds riding at 125. So she's getting sold, and we're off to bigger and better, and we have a big plan on how we're going to make that happen. So the plan is to drive over 700 miles up from San Diego all the way to Paso Robles and back in order to get this bike.
Dude, what are you talking about?
I already went. You already did it?
Yeah, I already went.
How was the trip?
The trip was good. The drive wasn't too bad. And after we got the bike, we camped in Malibu on the beach. We had a fire, I ate some nachos, and took a look at the bike as well.
And the bike, how does that look?
The bike did not look good.
I gotta take a good look at this. So while we still have the bike nice and secure, it's pretty much like having it on a nice stand. We're gonna check out a few things before we remove the engine, and it'll give us an idea of what parts we need to order for it. So the first thing I want to check for is to see if this thing sparks. We still got a working magneto, all that stuff. So plug in a new plug. Yep. We got a strong spark. Now, having spark was definitely a relief, but this engine needs a complete rebuild. So we have a lot of work to do, and our goal is to build the cleanest YZ250 around. And speaking of goals, we're all committed to our goals, but it's tough to stay motivated 100% of the time. That's why I utilize Mammoth effects whenever I'm gonna hit a workout that's gonna be a little bit cumbersome, or I might not have a full dose of energy for. With the Mammoth dose of citrulline malate, it's going to dilate your blood vessels and enhance nutrient delivery to your muscles. In combination with beta-alanine, you're going to see an upwards tick in your endurance. You're going to see an improvement in your focus as well with the L-theanine. Now, if you work out in the evening, don't worry. There's not too much caffeine unless you're extremely caffeine sensitive. With only 175 milligrams per serving, this is a lot less than most pre-workouts that range from 3 to 400 milligrams per serving, which won't allow you to get a good night's sleep if you're working on the later evening like many of us do. Shot two. we already know that this engine needs a complete rebuild and overhaul. But let's tear down the rest of this bike and see what the steering and suspension looks like. Let's hope for the best. So the teardown revealed that there's more wrong with this bike than there is right. The suspension and steering bearings are completely shot and need to be rebuilt. The engine needs a complete rebuild, but on the positive side, at least our engine cases look good, the transmission looks good, and although our cylinder was shot, our power valve looks to be in good condition as well as the cylinder head. Now, if you want to see the complete rebuild, make sure to subscribe.